Welcome to Music Production in Context. This week we're going to talk about these guys. These are MIDI connectors. Well, actually what we're going to talk about is MIDI, which is Musical Instrument Digital Interface. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to show you how to connect this DX7 to this microKORG and play the sounds of the microKORG from the DX7. And normally when you have two synthesizers or two keyboards, whatever it might be, then of course you can play one sound from each unit. So in this case I can play something from here, from the DX7, and I can play one sound from the microKORG. What I like to do now is I'm going to use MIDI and I'm going to connect the output of the DX7 to the input of the KORG. So we'll take our MIDI lead and we'll locate the out connector. And then we'll connect that to the in connector, the input of the microKORG, like that. And now, when I play on the DX7, then the microKORG sound will also play at the same time. Okay, so that's how you connect one synthesizer to another synthesizer, and the same principle would work with drum machines or anything. But what if I want to play one sound on the microKORG and one sound on the DX7? Well, now I need to be able to send multiple channels, and an easy way to do this is to use a MIDI sequencer. And for that, I need a MIDI interface, and I have one over here. So I'm going to connect the output from the MIDI interface to the input of the DX7. In the previous example, we connected the output from the DX7, which is this one here, to the input of the microKORG. And actually, the input here will remain the same, so I can put the cable back here. And as I'm explaining a little bit later on in this video, I need to use the through port to go out of the DX7 and into the microKORG. Now, my DX7 is set to MIDI channel 1. And my microKORG is set to MIDI channel 2. I can play them like this, but I can also play them from my MIDI keyboard, which is connected to my sequencer. So there's my DX7, and then we'll change channel, and here's my microKORG. So if I have a MIDI output on a synthesizer, why do I need a MIDI through port? Well, the reason is pretty simple actually, because the MIDI output also sends information that comes from this synthesizer. And if we work from an external sequencer, we only want the information that comes from the sequencer to be passed through to the next synthesizer in line. So what the MIDI through port does, it takes a copy of the MIDI in information and passes that through and bypasses any other information that's coming from here. So in this case, if we had this set to MIDI channel 1 and the DX7 to channel 2, then we could send both of that information from the MIDI sequencer, and this will respond to MIDI channel 1, and the DX7 would only respond to MIDI channel 2, and that way we can play two individual sounds.